Walking out every alley and I'm making my desperate calls. Because you love. My drug.
Cha, 1, 2, 3.
It's my drug.
Yes, so Hairless here. It's been a while since we've done a sing-off performance from Pentatonix. So today we have their second performance going right back to the roots. This is Your Love Is My Drug, a cover of Kesha's song. Now, I wasn't sure if I knew this song or not, so I listened to it. I didn't know it. I don't know if that's because I grew up living under a rock, because it is a very popular song. But here we are. I did listen to it a couple of times. I thought it was a little bit catchy. I didn't think it was amazing, just not really my cup of tea. But as I said, obviously a very, very popular song, loads of views on YouTube, etc. It did immediately remind me of Mitch.
I think about it all the time.
You know, I just that just reminded me of Mitch. I said this with my last reaction though, which was La La Latch. Mitch did not have much of the higher melody there. So it's probably best I just keep my mouth shut this time and let's see what happens.
Some rehab, or maybe I need some sleep. I got a sick obsession, I'm seeing it in my dreams. Walking out every alley and I'm making my desperate calls. Staying up all night hoping that my head against the wall, yeah.
What you got, girl, is hard to find. I think about it all the time. I'm all strung out, my heart is fine. I just can't get you off my mind.
Because your love is my drug. Your love, no. Your love is my drug. Your love, yeah.
I don't.
Alright, do a quick pause there. I think that's about halfway through for copyright reasons, but also just to give a couple of thoughts. But we'll just go to the end and then we'll go over the analysis afterwards, I think, because the performances here are quite short. I just wanted to say that it's probably worth noting that this is in the same key as the original, so that means that the melodies are all at the same pitch. And also, I just wanted to go back to the opening quickly, because that's the first lyrics that we hear of the whole song. So in the original, we get this.
Maybe I need some rehab, or maybe just need some sleep.
You see, it's like this talking, singing, but Pentatonix.
Maybe I need some rehab, or maybe I need some sleep.
So they've essentially created a melody here because there's no melody in the original. I just thought that was quite interesting. All right, let's carry on.
Your love, yeah.
I don't care what people say. No rush is worth the price I pay. I get so high when you're with me, but crash and crave you when you leave.
Because your love.
My drug.
What you got, girl?
I don't care what.
Maybe I need some rehab.
Maybe I need to crave you.
Just get you off of my mind. Because your love
Okay. That was an interesting one. There were some quite cool things that they did with the arrangement there and various effects and stuff that we had going on. And it's always interesting as well hearing these arrangements when I don't know the song beforehand and I've only had a couple of listens, because probably other things stand out to me. Whereas if I know the song and I've heard it hundreds of times, there will be particular notes and cadences and stuff that I'll be listening out for. So let's go back to the beginning, right from the off. Firstly, Avi and Kevin, they're just so good together. They're so tight. I think the one thing that we've seen from the sing-off performances that I've done so far is that tightness between Avi and Kevin. It's just so consistent and it's just so important for this foundation below anything musically that happens above it. All right, and then we get the grouping here. So aesthetically, we've got Kirsty, then Scott, and then Mitch, Kevin and Avi. In terms of the musical grouping that's going on here though, so we've got Avi and Kevin really tight together, fine, but then we've got Mitch and Kirsty actually harmonizing with each other, singing in homophony with each other, which, you know, we often see they work so well together, but visually they're completely separated here. And then Scott, of course, has his own part, and the storytelling here is between Scott and Kirsty. And in a way, I think this is good, because if you just group the people who are together, if you had Avi and Kevin, Kirsty and Mitch, and then Scott, it just becomes a bit obvious what's going on. So I do like this decision. And then Scott's falsetto. I feel like I've heard it more in the small number of sing-off performances than I have in the rest of my Pentatonix reactions that I've done so far. I know I've barely scratched the surface of their repertoire, their massive catalogue, but I don't know, it's standing out to me. Almost like they were really using this as a prominent feature of their performances at these early stages. I don't know if in more recent Pentatonix, because I'm not yet in the Matt era, Scott uses that more or not, but I guess we'll find out with time. So in terms of the format of the arrangement, the whole performance so far for the first 20 something seconds has been Avi and Kevin, Mitch and Kirsty, and Scott. And now this breaks when Mitch comes in with the melody.
What you got, girl, is hard to find.
Okay. His voice is just so smooth, and people can see this, you know, it's their second performance. And I find this funny because we all know what Mitch is capable of. We've all been Mitch slapped. And I almost feel like he's a tiny bit reserved here with his voice.
It's hard to find. I think about it all the time.
I mean, the arrangement here is a bit more hushed in general, so maybe that's why. But I don't know, let me know what you think. I know there were some comments saying that Mitch was told to kind of tone it down a little bit in this show. But yeah, Mitch, lovely, smooth voice. Great to see it here. So then we get the chorus, and we have this section.
Because your love is my drug. Your love is my drug.
So as you saw there, I played two repeated sections, and they're exactly the same musically, except for a tiny little run with Mitch and Kirsty.
He's my drug.
At the time when I first heard that, I was expecting there to be a difference the second time round, some kind of change. But thinking about it now, I actually prefer the fact that there isn't really a change. I think it's a good decision because it's repetitive, and therefore it makes it more catchy. It makes you want to kind of sing along with it because you're already familiar with it. It's a good way of making a section of a song, in this case the first chorus, stick with you. Okay, and then we get Kirsty's solo moment, which is very, very different musically to what we've heard before, and there are a few key points that I want to talk about from this section. Firstly, if we listen to Kevin, he's now changed to compound time.
I don't care what people say. No.
What that means is that instead of just being bum, 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 he's now doing 3 beats for every 2. So when we have the 1, 2, 1, 2, he's going cha 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's cool. Immediately it adds rhythmic variety now. So we've got different rhythms going on. Number 2, Avi. We've got Avi doing that weird whooshy overtone effect that we heard in the Daft Punk medley.
I don't care what people say.
You know, that starts like bzzz. I can't do it, of course, but it's cool.
I don't know what to
And then for this next bit, I want you to listen to Mitch and Scott.
care what people say.
Mitch's note is ooh, and Scott is ooh. And I want you to listen to them, and you'll notice how Scott comes off before changing note, whereas Mitch just follows on through.
People say no rush is worth.
I just wanted to point that out because I feel like after the sing-off in more recent performances, this is one of those small little details that they would iron out. This is not criticism at all. I'm just pointing this out because it's a sign of their progression, you know, from where they've started to where they are now. I haven't seen where they are now. I've only seen them up to about 2016, 17. Of course, we have to take into account that this is 1, a live performance, and 2, their second ever live performance on the sing-off, at least. It's nice looking out for these little things, you know, it really shows how they've grown. And then it moves into this bit.
Get so high when you're with me, but rush and crave you.
And to be honest, I'm not too keen on that section, but I understand why it's like this. It's to add variety into the performance and to change things up as we go. But then that leads into this bit.
Because you love.
My drag.
Boom. I love that bit. This is the moment that really changes the trajectory as the performance. It grabs us. It completely holds our attention there. You know, I'm sure everyone watching that is like, it's a cool effect as well, you know, that coming off, rewinding, coming back in. We've seen it in later performances. I pointed out in their Papa Ute arrangement. It's a great bit of arranging, and it's emphasised as well by the choreography. They've all kind of opened up the circle and then they all come back in. Look at Avi. My guy's bent backwards. He looks like his back's about to break. So yeah, I thought that bit was very cool. Which then leads into this section, which I think is more about kind of creating a certain type of atmosphere than being musically perfect.
What you got, girl?
I don't care what.
Baby, I need some.
It's different. It's quite crazy. There's so much going on. And even the choreography as well. You know, you see Kevin like slamming down. I do feel it's supposed to be a bit disjointed here, and it's keeping us really attentive and focused on it as well, because we're constantly kind of switching between who we're listening to or watching. They're all throwing around these musical ideas, motifs that we've heard before, and now it's become this concoction of ideas. It's hectic, it's busy, but it does serve its purpose perfectly, which is keeping us attentive and adding variety into the performance. I mean, just listen to Avi and Kevin in that bit.
What you got, girl?
I don't care what.
Baby, I need some.
Just creating this mad foundation underneath everything else to happen musically. They're so important in these performances, honestly. And then this section leads perfectly into what I feel is like the climax.
Because you
We've got Scott, the frontman here, belting out high in his chest voice as we return to this kind of musical normality and harmony and things that we're familiar with. He's singing towards the top of his chest voice range. He's on this F sharp, but they're actually singing a tiny bit above that pitch. Look, listen again to Scott. This is not a criticism in any way, and it's not a problem at all. With a cappella, the important thing is being in tune with everyone else you're singing with, which they are. They're perfectly in tune with each other. I just wanted to point this out because I think it's really interesting, and it's a testament to their energy. Normally, with performances, if you see tuning move either slightly up or down, it will usually move towards the downside. It's just how things happen, you know, if things run out of energy, whether it's engine or volume, things get quieter, they start to move down a bit. So as singers become a bit more fatigued, naturally they might start to just slide down as energy decreases. But here, there's so much energy going in this performance. They're literally standing there like punching the air, running around. So yeah, it just really shows how much energy they're giving and pushing into this performance. They're almost going over what is expected, which is why the pitch is just going up ever so slightly. Like I said, that's not a criticism. I'll be upset if someone comments saying, oh, you're looking for a criticism. I'm not at all. I love Pentatonix. I think they're unbelievable. Yeah, I just mean the energy. It's great. And again, Scott showing off that range of his. That's an F sharp up there, you know, it's quite high. That's edging towards the top of what a chorister is typically expected to sing. Again, yeah, Scott really showing off his falsetto in these sing-off performances. And then to end, a nice hushed ending there. Yeah, I don't think I have much more to say. Great energetic performance. Overall, I think it was a good arrangement. There were definitely parts that I preferred to other parts. I don't know whether not knowing the original song plays any role in my thought there. But yeah, great to see, you know, how they've progressed with time. And I still have many more years of Pentatonix progression to go when I do get into the matte era. Alright, well, let's leave it there. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos and want to support me and join the community, you can do so by joining the Patreon or YouTube memberships in the description below. And I will see you next time.